Last video on mental health with Mel, I talked to you guys about self-destructive behaviors and all of mine. This week, I want to talk to you guys about being spontaneous versus impulsive. And just before I get into it a little bit more, like I've said before, just a trigger warning for anyone that has any eating disorders, impulse control issues, or anything like that. If you guys aren't ready to talk about these things or listen to them, please click off. If not, let's get into it. So, impulse versus being spontaneous. Now, a lot of us, most of us, are spontaneous kind of people. You know, we like new things. We like to maybe go out without planning. Some of us might like to really plan things, but that's okay. Like whichever one is best for you, great. All right, so like normal, let's look up the definitions of both things and compare. I know I do that a lot and it might seem like I'm trying to take you guys to class, but I'm not. It's just a lot of the time, without understanding the definition and knowing what exactly it is, it's really difficult to break down the differences. For spontaneous, the definition is perform or occurring as a result of a sudden internal impulse or inclination and without premeditation or external stimulation. So, because they're not the same, let's pull up the definition for impulse. So, an impulse, a sudden, strong, and unreflective urge or desire to act. Basically, the difference is really that you can be spontaneous and, for instance, I use this example with my therapist because I didn't understand what the differences from the two were exactly. I asked him, if I wake up one day, because I've done this, and I'm like, I want to go to the mall and go get a tattoo. One of three impulsive or spontaneous kind of decisions. Why? Is that an impulse or a spontaneous decision? Like how do I know? So I asked him and he said, the difference is that if I'm being spontaneous, like many people are, I made this decision and it's not going to negatively affect my life. I've kind of thought it through a little bit. Like I decided I'm gonna go get a tattoo. I made sure I had the funds in my account to go do so. Maybe in my case, my first ever tattoo, I was 18. It's a Hemza, and I got it on my right leg, like where my hip is basically. And I drew the design 2 years before I got the tattoo. My mom said she wasn't gonna sign for me to get a tattoo. She didn't mind for me to get one, but she wasn't gonna sign off because she didn't want to be responsible for any regrets later on. She didn't want me to be like, oh, well, you let me do this. I'm not the type of person, but I get where she was coming from. I waited and I turned 18. It wasn't like the first thing I did. I think it took like 4 or 5 months. My friend was like, hey, you wanted this tattoo. We're going to the mall today. You want to get it done? And I was like, yeah. I waited. I thought about it. I have the money to do it. I've been wanting to get it done. Why not? Let's go get it done. So I did it. That was being spontaneous. And that was because I kind of processed it. I had the ability to do it. I had the money. It was something I wanted to do. And it was just like spontaneous in the sense where I had already thought about doing this, but I just happened to go that day without premeditating. Like I didn't specifically plan on this date, I'm going to get a tattoo. Now, being impulsive is an urge or something that you just cannot control. Like my eating habits, wanting to spend money on food when I do not need to spend money on food. Like knowing that my mom will go grocery shopping, but I just have to buy groceries. Like I have to go and shop, and I normally do it online. Impulse one. I love to spend money. It's an excuse to just spend my money. That's bad because there's no need to waste my money. If someone else is telling me if it's for the house, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. Your stuff, yeah, you spend your money. But things that you don't need to spend your money on, if you're not trying to be nice every once in a while and just buy some things for us because you want to make something, why are you doing that? You don't need to. My other impulse being eating foods that I shouldn't be eating, that things that I know I don't need, that aren't doing any nutritional value to me. Food is not a problem. Eating food is not a problem. But are you eating foods that are actually nutritious for you? Like if you're trying to gain weight, are you drinking like protein things or things that are going to maybe like bulk you up a little bit or put nutrition into your body and also make you a little thicker, a little curvier, a little bigger? Like, is that what you're doing? Or you're just eating a bunch of junk that's going to hurt your body, make your skin break out, make you feel sad or low energy, not want to exercise, things like that. Are you doing that? Or are you actually giving yourself the nutrition that you need in your food that is also going to help you gain a little weight? Are you doing things that are going to benefit you? Impulse is mine. It's not necessarily like when I am of a normal mindset, my typical everyday mindset. I'm gonna eat healthier. I'm gonna eat my brown rice. I'm gonna try and eat my vegetables. Even though I really hate salad, I'm gonna give salad a chance. Like things like that. I will go out of my way to eat better. But when it's an impulse, I can't. Like it's so hard for me to not do it. And I hate saying that. Like I really hate saying that because I have a lot of self-control in a lot of things. But that one is just something that I've struggled with for so long. I feel like I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. I am fighting thoughts with myself. I am literally arguing with myself. I feel anxious. I start shaking. My stomach feels like in knots and like wound up until I cave into that desire. And then it goes away and I feel happy. And like that's an impulse, which also is confusing because it kind of does feel like it's an eating disorder kind of thing, but it's not. It's my impulses. So that's there. I also am impulsive just because of the like bipolar stuff. Like there are things that I'm going to do that maybe I should have thought more about. And so again, that's why we have tools for it. Tools like asking questions and knowing if you have money. So that's the other thing. With me being spontaneous and with anyone being spontaneous, you're going to do spontaneous things, understanding the risk, the money, the funds to go do the thing that you want to do, what impact it's going to have on your life. Like you're still going to be aware of like what's going on and make that decision rationally and with some thought process, because even if it was spontaneous, you probably had some kind of thought process even while you were about to do it. You had a thought. While impulsiveness can be either you did not think at all, like you just went for it. You were at a peak. You were so confident in yourself. You're like, yeah, I can do anything I want. I'm invincible. And so you just did it and you didn't even think about consequences or how this would work out or anything. You were just like, whatever, F it, YOLO. I only live once. I'm gonna go do it. Like, just did it. Or this is me. I am an overthinker. So I will analyze everything. I'll be like, oh no, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the time to do this, or I shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't be doing this. This is going to come back and bite me in the butt. I don't want to do it. And I still do it, knowing that all of this outcome could happen, but I'm still going to do it because I just can't control the need to go ahead and do it. That is an impulse. You might not think that it's that important to know the difference, but it is really important because at the end of the day, you want to be able to say that you were completely in control of the decision you made, and any outcome that's going to come from that decision, you were well aware of and you are going to be responsible for it. So wouldn't it be really, really sad if you made this decision when you were maybe manic or being impulsive and you didn't even think of the consequences, or you did think of them and you were like, I don't really care, I'm still gonna do it. And then something really bad happened. And then now you're sitting there like, I really didn't want this to happen. And I couldn't control the need to do the thing I needed to do. And now this is what's going on. And I am responsible. And this is just not what I wanted. That is why this is so important. Like you don't want to you never, I don't, for me at least, I would never want to be that person that's like, oh, well, I know I did this and it might have hurt you, but it was an impulse and I just couldn't control it. So oops, and like blame it on that. Like, you want to be aware that like what you're going to do is going to affect people. The whole purpose of knowing that you're impulsive is to try and stop the impulses and to try and control them before they get out of hand. So you don't have to go back and figure out like, okay, I put myself in this predicament. Now what? Like, now how do I fix it? Is it too late to fix it? Maybe it is too late to fix it. That is what you don't want to do. Like, you want to know if you're spontaneous or impulsive so you can catch what's about to happen. Once you've realized that you are an impulsive person, like, the next step is 100% figure out what you can do to stop it. Understanding why you want these impulses, which is something that I've been talking with my therapist about. The food one is definitely a sense of control, kind of rebelling against like cultural standards and people standards. Just because I'm a girl, I have to look a certain way or have to act a certain way or eat a certain way. I am really rebellious and that kind of stuff. So I do feel like the eating things are highly, related to that. Just trying to break stereotypes, trying to bring more like body positive awareness. And it is completely wonderful to be, curvy and beautiful, or tinier and beautiful, or anywhere in between that spectrum. But what's not beautiful is being unhealthy and putting yourself at risk. In my situation, I love being curvy, but I am hurting myself with the things that I'm eating. So I have to make adjustments to fix that. I have to control those impulses to fix that. Those are things that it's important for everyone to be aware of. Just be aware of those impulses so you can try and make better decisions. Can you change what the impulse is controlling? Maybe your impulse right now is a specific food that's bad for you. Maybe you can try and find something that's gonna taste a little bit closer to what you wanted, but isn't gonna be as bad. You can be spontaneous as long as you're realizing that you're doing it because you just want to do it and not because an urge is requiring you to do it and you are just going to break down if you don't do it. These are things that are so important for you to be really in control of your life, because at the end of the day, you don't want your impulses controlling your decisions. You want to control them. And if you're going to make a bad decision, at least have like all of the information in front of you. I know that this is going to be a 50-50. This could be a horrible situation or the best situation of my life, but I'm deciding to go with 100%. I know everything that's going to go on, and I'm just going to go and risk it because I really think that like if this works, it's going to be amazing. I want to be that confident in my decisions. I don't want an impulse to be the one controlling my decision. I don't want an impulse to be like, you just need to have this and we're just going to do it and that's it. And you're not even going to think about the consequences. And if you do, you're not even going to care, but not because it's going to maybe benefit you, but because you just have to have it. That's what you don't want. Like, that's what we do not want. We want things that are going to make our lives more positive and make us better people and help us in the future. So that's why the importance of being a spontaneous person or an impulsive person are so important. So guys, I've talked about some things that might have been a little bit triggering or brought up some memories or things, or maybe you were just having a bad week or a bad day, and I want you to know that that's okay and your feelings are 100% valid. And if you're not having a good time right now, that is okay. But if you need to reach out to someone, if you need to talk to someone, if you are scared of your thoughts or yourself or someone else around you, please look at the links below. I attached them specifically so that if anyone needed any extra support, they had them. So please take a look. If you need anything, please comment below if you have any questions or if you just want to talk. My Instagram is linked, so if you just have someone to talk to, like you need someone, like I'm here, don't hesitate to reach out. I obviously am not a healthcare professional, but like I said, I want to be here for you guys. I want a strong community of people that want to be there for each other, because life is hard, and we've, definitely seen that this year more than ever. And I really, really, really don't want anyone to feel like they're alone in these times. So please, if you need someone, please reach out. But I will be back making another video with Mental Health with Mel very soon.